Hey, this is Troy from Planet 76. We've got some really good Sixers-focused content coming your way today. Make sure you subscribe to the pod so you can be in the know when we release new content. Enjoy the show. What's going on, Sixers fans? Welcome into episode 57 of Planet 76. I've got Michael here with me. He's drinking out of a cool cup tonight. I see that.
To Planet 76. Woo!
There you go. Recording July 3rd. So this will be posted up tomorrow, July 4th. So happy July 4th to you. And we're going to talk some Sixers, talk some summer, talk some free agency, talk some Kevin Durant stuff. Of course, you've seen that. If you've been keeping up with the NBA at all in any way, shape, or form, you've been seeing the Brooklyn Nets implode right before our very eyes. Love to see it. Woo! Love to see it. And, so we're just going to have some fun. Going to kind of wing it a little bit. Again, free agency started, a little over 72 hours ago. And Sixers have picked up some key pieces, and a lot of people are saying they're not done. Whatever that means, we shall have to stay tuned. And Michael. So what's going on, man?
I mean, nothing really crazy. You know, obviously free agency started. Sixers got PJ Tucker. They got Daniel House. They signed Trevelin Queen, who I still have no idea who that is. I gotta look that up. I mean, I know who he is. I just don't know a ton about him. Right. And as far as what the Sixers actually accomplished in free agency, I say they did a great job. I say Daryl Morey did a great job. And to your point about people saying the Sixers aren't done, I think that more speaks to the nature of Daryl Morey and how he likes to run things as a part of the front office, as the president, or I guess he's the GM. I don't really think we can ever count him out of trades, of signings, until there's actually a time where he can't make moves anymore. I don't think there's a time where we can say, okay, well, Daryl's probably not going to do anything else. I mean, I don't know anything about the guy, but I can almost guarantee you that he is calling people, working the phones, looking at things still. So I definitely don't think the Sixers are done in that aspect. Right.
Yeah, so you mentioned, some of the big ones. Obviously, we talked about Melton on last week's episode, a draft day trade there, and then signing Daniel House and PJ Tucker.
Yes.
So, PJ, I think Sixers fans, I mean, you and I are happy about that one. I think Daryl's doing a good job. Immediately after you see that and you see what, we get Melton and House, you start to think, well, this is the best bench we've had. And, in the Joel Embiid era, if we can say it that way. And so that's encouraging. 3-year, $33 million for Tucker, even $3 more million than we anticipated. It's hard to be upset over the money because, especially for the two of us who have talked about, we need a guy like PJ Tucker. And instead of getting a guy like PJ Tucker, we get PJ Tucker.
Get the real thing.
So what do you think he brings? I mean, obviously the toughness. Why are you happy about that deal?
Well, I think you get a guy like Tucker who has been a part of a lot of winning. He's been a part of the Bucks championship team. He was a part of this year's Miami Heat team who made the Eastern Conference Finals. He understands what it takes to get there. And not only because he's been there, but because he's been with guys who have been there. Jimmy Butler. And again, his former teammate James Harden. I believe he was on that Rockets team when they made the Western Conference Finals. So he's been with guys who have been there as well. So he understands it from multiple perspectives, not only for that, but because of what he brings as a player. He's a great perimeter defender. He's a really good one-on-one defender as well. He's a great three-point shooter, especially from the corners, very similar to Danny Green. So you kind of get some aspects of what you'd be missing with Danny Green. And I just think it was just a great signing. I don't really, a lot of people will complain about the money, which that's just what people do, and
Right.
people. I think some people. I think those people are undervaluing what you're actually getting from PJ Tucker with that money, because like you're not gonna not give him that. I mean, Danny Green was making that money, and for a lot of what Danny Green brings, PJ brings that as well, and in some aspects he brings more. So you're basically getting the same kind of player, but available for hopefully the entire season. So I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I mean, I've been talking about it for months. I know we've been saying it here on Planet 76 as well for quite some time. And actually, I texted Troy on Thursday when the news dropped about Daniel House. I forget which episode. I believe it was probably 54, maybe 53.
Yep.
But he had on our outline Daniel House, potential targets for the Sixers.
Right.
And we were discussing it, and I was like, wait a minute. He called that because he had it on the outline. So I was like, yo, we got it. That was awesome. But, yeah, PJ Tucker, great signing. I mean, I'm sure you, I'm sure you feel the same way. Like, how do you...
Yeah, I like it. And if you're hearing what sounds like gunshots, don't worry. That's just my next door neighbors shooting off fireworks. So
4th of July.
It's not what you think. Yeah, PJ Tucker, love it. I think he just, again, on top of the toughness. But to your point, he has been there. He's done that. He's obviously a veteran. He's 37.
Seasoned veteran.
Seasoned, very seasoned. And now there's people saying, again, about the age and about the contract. To that, I say on my glass half full side of things, I say that PJ Tucker has a game that obviously has aged well. You know what I mean? It's not like he's gone from a guy who, when he was in his mid-20s, was averaging 20 points a game and 11 rebounds. No, he's he's a 7.6 rebound kind of night kind of thing, and his impact goes beyond the stat sheet, and so he's going to continue to do the things that he has done the previous 2 years. You know what I mean? You mentioned it. He's been on the Bucks championship team. He's been on a Heat team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals. They're very good teams, quality basketball teams he's been on, and he affects winning in a positive way. And so PJ Tucker's a good get for us. He's a piece that I think we needed. I saw a tweet this week that kind of put it into perspective for me personally that said, forget what the Sixers may or may not do continuing down free agency and with trades and what have you. Think about what they've done already. So PJ Tucker, a playable wing. Daniel House, a playable wing. DeAnthony Melton, a very much playable, can have an impact very easily off the bench as a guard. So 3 guys in, and then you get rid of Danny Green, who is hurt. He's a good veteran, but he's, who knows when he was going to come back or if he's going to come back to what he was. You get rid of DeAndre Jordan and Paul Millsap, who were 2 not playable pieces at center and power forward. So, just in that alone, think about that. Put that in perspective. You add 3 guys that are come in right now. You can insert them into your lineup and go deeper. You can play these guys in the playoffs because 2 of the 3 names I just mentioned were not playable in the playoffs, and that's an issue. So hopefully we get away from those issues, Yeah. You going to check any Summer League out this year?
I honestly, I might. If I can catch a game or 2, that'd be nice. I kind of am interested to see Jaden Springer play because the Sixers drafted him last year, and I have seen nothing. Probably because I haven't watched the G League at all, but still, I'm interested to see what he brings. A year of NBA play under his belt. Maybe, maybe we can see something from him. Maybe we can see some potential rotational value in any way, but we'll have to see with that. And I think Paul Reed is playing again. So
I was about to say, that's going to be really
Charles
cool. Bassey is, right? Definitely.
Charles Bassey's playing as well.
Paul Reed's maybe. Isaiah Joe. Shout out to Isaiah Joe. I think it's his birthday today or yesterday.
Yes.
So, I mean, not for anything, that has the potential to be a pretty good team.
I mean, yeah, and apparently the guy that they just signed is pretty good. I think he's playing for them as well, I believe. Okay. So that's going to be pretty cool.
What's his face?
Trevelin Quinn?
Yes.
Queen, not Quinn.
Trevelin Queen.
Yes.
Yes, he's playing. That, I mean, that has potential. I don't know, you know, I don't know whoever else is playing on these other teams, but I mean, Paul Reed played in the playoffs in the NBA, you know, not long ago. So
and he just won. Did he win G League MVP? No, I'm sorry. No, he won Summer League MVP last year.
Okay.
Yeah, that 27-20 rebound game. That was nuts.
We should send Korkmaz back down. That'd be funny. G League or Summer League All-Star. Oh, gosh. But, yeah, if they make the Summer League Championship, whatever, you bet I'll be watching. So,
for sure.
Maybe catch some games before that, too. But something interesting I want to touch on, some guy we haven't mentioned yet, is James Harden. So all the talk leading up to free agency was, you know, is he going to opt in? Is he going to opt out? Blah, 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 blah. He did not opt in, and every indication was that, you know, he didn't do that because he wanted to take a pay cut, if we can say it that way, and free up some more room for the Sixers to make moves. He was going to meet out my way with Daryl and whoever this weekend out in the Hamptons, Long Island, baby. And no deal yet. I want to get your take on, you know, what's going on there, or, you know, if you want to applaud Harden for taking a pay cut, whatever you want to do with that. And then I'm going to tell you something I heard about that as to why there's not a deal yet.
Okay. Well, I'll start with this. I'll start with applauding him because not only is he opting out and taking less money, but he is standing by what he said previously when he got to the Sixers and when the Sixers were eliminated from the playoffs. He said he wants to win. He said he wants to be in Philadelphia. He said he wants to do what he can to help the team grow. And all of that filters into his decision of opting out of his player option. And that's exactly what he did. So not only is he saying what he wants to do, he's taking the actions that are needed to actually do that thing. So I give him major props for that. And it's something that I guess I don't know. I don't want to say I was expecting it because part of me, when he forgot to opt in, when he got traded here, air quotes, kind of made me think, okay, well, did he do it on purpose?
Right.
Did he forget to do that? How do you just forget, you know? Right. How do you just forget to do that? So maybe, whatever. That kind of made me think, okay, well, could that be a sign that he is going to take less money? You know, that kind of thing. So like I said, I don't know if I was expecting it, but something like that really makes you think, okay, well, again, how does he just forget to opt in? Something clearly is suspicious there, but it paid off in the long run, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So what I heard or saw or read or whatever about Harden and that deal not being done yet, I read it just a couple hours ago. Like, I got to talk about that. Someone, I don't even remember where it was, but there could be some weight to it. If you are a conspiracy theorist, there could be something in this. So, and it's not in a bad way, so don't freak out. But he said that the deal has not been done yet because Daryl is still trying to make other moves that are going to factor into what Harden can make this year.
Okay.
You know, because if, hypothetically, there's a big deal done for Tobias or Matisse Thybulle or whatever, you know, and it's just a tough spot because you want to make sure that you can get rid of those guys if that's what you're going to do, but you got to bring James Harden in, you got to pay the man.
Right.
And so not just, you know, tying themselves in a knot by, boom, signing James Harden and then, okay, XYZ trades are out the window because we can't afford that now. It's not going to work financially, whatever. But if, you know, you sit Harden down and you say, oh, I can move Tobias Harris and Matisse Thybulle for this guy, but in order to do that, you have to take this much money as opposed to this much money, if that makes any sense. So there, you know, that's a thought. I mean, because if they were meeting this weekend, the weekend's over unless you count the July 4th. What's going on? There's not a deal yet, you know?
Honestly, I would say I feel like that's definitely something that could be happening because they already planned to meet during the weekend. They said it on Thursday. And you would think that if they had a number set in stone that it would have just been, okay, you know, here's the number, let's sign on it, let's chat a little bit, let's go home.
Right.
But it's now Sunday, like you just said, like Troy just said, and we have heard nothing.
Right.
So it would make sense, hypothetically speaking, if that was the case. So
Yeah.
I haven't heard. I didn't see that.
Right.
But
I mean,
like I said,
I'm like,
it's
you know,
possible.
we're not in an NBA office, so I don't know
Right.
exactly what that looks like if, you know, it's 10 million less a year, or 5 million or whatever the heck it is.
Right.
You know, that might allow them to make more moves if he signs for a little bit less. So someone said it's just, you know, what Harden's going to make on this contract is you know, we have to wait and see what happens with some other possible moves that Daryl makes, was kind of the gist of it. Which I have no problem with that, you know, and obviously the problem presents itself, and it doesn't appear that it's going to, because no one's talking about it. I mean, think about it. No one's talking about the James Harden situation, and he's a free agent, and like, that's a good thing if you're a Sixers fan, because every indication, there's no Woj saying, well, Harden's actually meeting with this team tomorrow, or you know, like, so that is helpful,
Right.
for, you know, as a Sixers fan to know, okay, he's coming regardless. We just gotta see what his deal's gonna look like. But speaking of those other guys, I mean, if that's really what's happening, what's going on with Matisse and Tobias, or what could that look like? Are they going after? Are they trying to put a package together for Mr. Kevin Durant? Is that happening? Like, think about that. But I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Everything beyond what's already happened for the Sixers is just a guessing game at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really knows. And to your point earlier, a lot of Sixers fans currently are focusing on what they want to happen or what they think needs to happen, as opposed to what's already happened. James Harden's re-signing for less money. The Sixers had some very great free agency signings: PJ Tucker, Daniel House.
Right.
Let's look at that a little more now, because it's set in stone. This is happening. It already happened. Let's take a look at this real quick, instead of being so kind of focused, like I said, on what they think needs to happen or what they think is going to happen. Because, like I said, we have no idea. I don't even think Daryl Morey might not even know. So how are we supposed to know?
Right. And what has happened is good.
Right.
You know, it's a lot easier to speculate or to say, oh, this should happen or this should happen, if it was a bad start to the free agency period off season. But it's not. These are things we're happy about. At least you and I are. So the Kevin Durant situation is interesting, though. I know, you know, you've posted, a lot of Sixers pages have posted about throwing Maxey in and a deal with that, and would you or would you not? Without getting into all of that, the bottom line is, of any of the teams that are currently linked to Kevin Durant in some way, shape, or form, like the Phoenix Suns or the Miami Heat, or apparently now the Golden State Warriors, or the 76ers, or, you know, whoever, the Sixers, to me, don't have a bad package for him if you include Tyrese Maxey, Matisse, and Tobias, and whatever else. Like, that's better than the Suns are going to do, because the Suns already said they're not including Devin Booker, apparently. And, you know, I mean, the Warriors package I saw today is pretty good too, but other than that, like, I don't see... It's such an interesting thing, because Kevin Durant would he not be the greatest player ever traded? I mean, he's up there.
I mean, LeBron never got traded. I don't think MJ ever got traded. Did Kobe ever get? No, Kobe was the Lakers. What did the Lakers get for Shaq? Did he get traded, or did he sign elsewhere for agency? Did Kareem get traded from the Bucks, or did he sign with the Lakers? I don't know.
If I had to guess, I would say signing.
Yeah, but
and when I think recent memory, I think Kawhi Leonard, I think Paul George.
Yeah. So, but you're right though. At that point, you're 100% right, because what, like, at least, again, like you said, at least in recent memory, what player of that caliber has been traded? And the answer is, I don't think there is I don't think
So what
there's
does a
been one.
package for him even look like? You see what they did for Rudy Gobert. Someone's like, yep, KD's stock is going way up after that.
Yeah,
So seriously, like who the heck can put a package together for him? And as days go by, as someone else said, as days go by, the package can presumably be less and less and less because we get closer to the start of the NBA season and Kevin Durant's still a net. He doesn't want to be a net. You got to get rid of him unless it's a Ben Simmons situation. But Kevin Durant's not Ben Simmons. You gotta get that man. You got to get that man in a uniform and playing somewhere. If you're the NBA, literally sell some money, make some money.
I still think there's a few teams that could potentially put it together a really good deal for Kevin Durant. The Pelicans actually being one of them, and yeah, I just think the one thing with the Sixers deal is that yes, including Fabo, Maxey, and Harris is a really solid deal. The only thing is I don't know if the Sixers have the draft picks and the draft assets to actually include that would be valuable enough for the Nets to agree to, because the Sixers, I know they don't have a pick next year, I don't think. They obviously only had one pick this year. They traded. Draft is over. I don't know if they have draft assets until 2025, maybe even 26, I think, but at the very earliest 2024. So how valuable are the draft picks going to be that they include in that deal?
Right.
And I know, including Tyrese Maxey is a really enticing package, but teams want draft assets. Teams want draft pieces, picks, swaps, things like that. And the Sixers don't really have that. So is that a deal breaker? It definitely could be, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's just wild, man. Kevin Durant requesting a trade.
And it was so out of the blue as well.
Was that
nobody
on when free agency opened? Was that
it was
Thursday?
on Thursday.
Yeah.
Nobody was thinking Kevin Durant was going to request a trade publicly like that.
It's wild, man.
And he went to the owner. He went to Joe Tsai directly and was like, "Yo, man, get me out of here."
It's amazing.
He didn't even. I don't even know if he told Sean Marks, but he went straight to the owner and was like, "Yo, I'm done."
Yep.
So.
And then the rumors Kyrie to the Lakers for Russell Westbrook. So a Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons starting lineup in Brooklyn is just going to be lethal.
Oh my goodness! I can already see the jokes, man. Thank God Ben Simmons isn't here anymore. I wouldn't be able to deal with that if it was the Sixers.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I mean, I have no idea.
No idea.
I'll tell you one thing. As cool as it would be to have Kevin Durant, as you mentioned, I'm not going to get into, any more than we already have of like, what could happen, but
yeah.
I like what the Sixers have done so far. It's hard to be upset about what they've done, and we look forward to some more. Is there anything out that's not, let's trade for Kevin Durant? Is there anything else you would like for the Sixers to do, or like them to see, or like to see them do, or anything like that? That's not anything major. If we,
Well, if the Sixers, again, I don't know the cap situation anymore. I didn't even know they had the ability to sign Daniel House on Thursday. So it's like, wait a minute, where did this come from? But I'm not too familiar with the current cap situation for the Sixers. But what I can say is that if they have anything left, they should use it, even if it's just $2 million for a 1-year player.
Right.
Just use it, because they might run into the situation again next year. We don't have enough cap space to sign players because of what they're doing this year. Mm-hmm. So use it now. So that's the only thing I would say. Nothing, and it's not going to be anything major. The only major thing that could happen is if there's a big trade, which I highly doubt at this point.
Okay.
But I would say, if anything at all, just use whatever cap space you have.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Part of me still thinks there's a possibility Tobias and Matisse could be shopped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where or what that's going to look like. Do I think it's for Kevin Durant? No,
No.
not really. But like, what would that be? I mean, and what would that be that's going to help us? I've said it probably 17 times over the last 50 something episodes of this podcast has existed. Let's not just dump Tobias Harris to get rid of the contract. If you're going to get rid of Tobias Harris, it has to be someone that's going to help us win.
Right.
And how Tobias has been playing for both you and I are both very happy about him and how he's played. So it's like, is someone, and I think that's why he's still in a Sixers uniform right now, because of his playoff performance this year. If he would have not had a good playoff performance this year, he might not be on a Sixers anymore, and it might have been a trade for someone who's not as good as him.
Yeah.
Which I'm very happy that the Sixers haven't done, because if you're a team in win now mode, you don't just salary dump just to get someone that's not going to perform at the level of the current player you have. So, I don't mind it. So, what does PJ Tucker come off the bench? Like, what's the lineup right now? Is Matisse in the starting lineup?
Well, my guess would be PJ Tucker starts. I got
Put Tobias at the 3.
No, I think Tucker will play the 4 because I don't think.
Right,
and
Tobias at the 3. Right.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Tucker at the 3. I'm sorry.
At the 3, okay.
Yeah, I think that's something that goes under the radar too. I think Tucker adds versatility in terms of what he can do,
right,
position wise. I don't think he's limited to just a small forward or
right.
I would say he's more of a forward just because he's a little quicker, so he can guard the quicker fours, usually bigger fours, but still quicker fours, and I still think he can guard threes as well. And a lot of threes are smaller. So he kind of fits the mold because he's smaller, but he's strong. Yeah. And he's a little, smaller, but he's still quick. So he can keep up with smaller guards who may be playing the 3, or even smaller threes. Even the guys that are 6'4", 6'5". Yeah, and even the bigger 4s, 6'6", 6'7", like the modern 4s we see. So he adds a lot of versatility. I think he should and is going to play the 3 so that Harris can play the 4, because I don't think Harris can play the 3. I think he needs to play the 4 because guarding slower 4s is going to help him a lot. Harris, at least, because he's a slower 4 himself. So
right. Yeah. It'll be interesting. I do agree, though, the versatility that he brings, as PJ Tucker brings to this team, is huge, because it doesn't matter where you put him, he's going to play well.
Right.
He's going to do what he does. He's going to bring his lunch pail and he's going to get to work. And so I think that he's a good piece to throw in there. I don't know. I mean, he's started on these last 2 teams he's been on with Miami and Milwaukee, but then you think about our bench right now. You got Shake, you got Melton, you got Matisse, you got or whatever his name is, Daniel House, you got George Niang.
That's depth.
You got Reed.
That's real depth.
Right.
We're having to think about where these guys are going to play on the court. That's how it's supposed to be. Those are the issues that good teams have. That championship contending teams have. Oh, well, we have 3 players who can play 2 slots. That's a good thing. That's great.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have, and with I think adding DeAnthony Melton's big.
Yeah.
That's a guard that can really, he can play defense, he can shoot, he can get his own. He's good. So if him and Shake both get time, you got Niang who can shoot, you got Matisse who can defend, you got, Paul Reed who gets it out the mud. I mean, it's not bad, man.
No, not at all.
And if PJ's starting, that's a pretty solid. Obviously with Matisse in there, it's good defensive.
You'd have to imagine that Tucker starts just because of Thibel's issues.
Yeah, I think so. But it's obviously it's one of them, given what we just read off. So, PJ Tucker, Joel Embiid, Tobias, Tyrese, and James Harden. Wow.
Solid.
Let's go.
Solid.
Anything else for episode 57 of Planet 76?
Nah, wait, is this 56 or 57?
I think 57.
Okay. I lose track every time. We can go back and look at the episodes. One time I thought it was 40, but it was like 45. So we just whatever. It doesn't matter because we're just rolling along. Doesn't even matter what episode it is. We're just here. We just keep it.
That's
we
right.
Just
This
keep punching
is
the wall until it breaks.
57.
Yes.
So yeah. That's it. Planet 76. Make sure you follow us on whatever platform. Hit the subscribe button for us. That would be very much appreciated. Send it to your friend. Send it to a Sixers fan. Send it to a PJ Tucker fan. You know,
send it to a neighbor setting off fireworks 4th of July weekend.
Right. That's right. We'll see you next time on Planet 76. And there'll be some more to talk about. Certainly Summer League. James Harden, hopefully having signed a deal by then. And maybe some more stuff. Maybe Mr. Durant. Who knows what team he'll be on by then. Probably still in Brooklyn. But we'll see. Planet 76. Peace. Are you on Instagram? Why don't you go give us a follow at Planet 76 Podcast so you can be in the know when we drop new episodes. Thanks for listening to this one, and we'll see you next time.